Beehive Sports Podcast is powered by Swing Juice. Visit swingjuice.com. Use promo code Beehive20 for 20% off your golf and MLB PA apparel. Also, just started a pickleball line. If you have a friend who plays pickleball or family, let them know. They got some pickleball clothing that you can purchase. Use our promo code Beehive20. You'll get 20% off your order. Today's show, starting out with the first of the 5 days of Christmas. So we'll put up the wheel and announce the winner there. Then we'll get into local shout-outs. Buzz and Buzzkill, reality overreaction for NFL Week 15. And then a couple little different notes for Sunday Ticket. Got some update info on that. PIAA approves the NIL. I waited for you to discuss that.
Thank you.
And I guess we'll mention that Argentina won the World Cup, and then we'll never talk about soccer for another however many years.
Thank God.
No sports history this week. Sadly, that segment might be going bye-bye just because we're trying to trim up some time, make this a little bit more viewer and listener friendly. But we'll figure that out. That's going to be something we discuss once this season's over. Sketty on, a Christmas gift. Good rant today from Sketty. He's got 2 weeks of built-up tension to just come unglued today. And the things that sting, we have follow-up for Griner, which we haven't done. I didn't even think about that, but we have not discussed the Griner trade, quote-unquote. Follow-up on Aqib Talib and Bobby Wagner, the Rams linebacker. And then we got 5 news stories. So that's cool. We got some good stuff to talk about. In my hive, we will get into the 3-bagger review and the new picks for what's coming up, Week 16.
Yeah.
Week 16. Three regular season weeks left. That's always makes me sad. Let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe and Sketty.
The Buzz is brought to you by Busch Light. Attention hunters, your favorite camo cans are back. Get it wherever you purchase your adult beverages. Please drink responsibly. And Napoli Pizza, that's right. When there is football season on Tbsp, there's Napoli's weekly specials, pickup or delivery available, located in North Warren. Already confirmed we will be doing the Super Bowl, Napoli's Super Bowl prize pack again this year. So, but I think Stefano has some different ideas for it. So we'll toss that around. But we got another, month and a half before we really get it. Well, no, probably a month. I mean, really.
Yeah, I mean, second week of February, right?
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, we're not too far
We'll
off,
have to do it beforehand. Yep.
We'll get into that another time. Reminder to those watching, you can listen to the audio only if you choose. Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Search it, the Beehive Sports Podcast. You'll be able to find all our episodes uploaded shortly after the live show. So, today is day 1 of the 5 days of Christmas. Sketty, I was going to make you sing on the first day of Christmas, the Beehive.
Nobody wants to hear me sing.
I should have had that done. I should have had that done prior to, and we would have played it as background music. All right. So day 1, I got the prize right here. So we have the Beehive Sports Podcast 6-pack cooler, which includes a Busch Light tumbler, which I forgot to put in the photograph. So we have some tumblers that'll be given away each day too. Let's see. 2 Busch Light lanyards, and 2 Busch Light koozies. So lots of cool stuff brought to you, brought to us by Busch Light. Thank you, Paul, for helping us out with that. So that's the first day of Christmas. So I'm going to put up the wheel, and we'll show you who the winner is. neighbor Tim pulls out the win for day one, first day of Christmas. So congratulations,
Easy delivery.
Tim. Easy delivery. Don't have to ship it. That is nice. I'll take that. But yeah, so congrats, Tim, winner of the first day of Christmas. So he's still eligible because that wheel's not changing. So he's still eligible. You can win multiple times. We'll see, what the wheel says. I'll post. So tomorrow, are we doing bonus show Thursday?
No, work is giving me the old big fuck you one more time. So yeah,
Okay,
Thursday's out.
So Christmas morning or
Christmas Eve
morning,
I'm still hoping for it. Yeah.
Okay, that'll be good. And that could be the day too that we just do a couple topics and then because we're already picking our games now. So we could play the Ray Russell interview and go over the couple topics we wanted to talk about that we'll post about before we get to that. And that would only be like a little hour-long show, but then we could, show the wheel on a live feed of who wins the cornhole boards. So they're super nice. Like I'm jealous.
They look nice. Yeah,
they are. They're very, very well put together. They're nice boards. They aren't like the cheap. Sometimes you get stuff like that. It's like these are legit. So, so each day moving forward, then I'll just post the video of the wheel spinning so everybody knows who won there, and then I'll reach out to whoever that person is and get you your pack. So, congratulations, Tim, the winner of the first day of Christmas for our Busch Light giveaway. All right. Trying to think anything else before we get into local shout outs. You got anything you need to add?
I don't think so. Nope.
Okay. We're cruising today because I got a date at Baldy's at noon. So I'm going to hit the golf ball a little bit today. Probably pull a bunch of muscles. That's what I anticipate happening. Haven't picked up a club since Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, should be interesting. All right, local shout outs. Wait, hold on. Before we get to that, Andy, I feel like this is the Santa M&M's commercial. It is me. I dyed the beard. Actually, I am getting some grays, though.
You should dye it white for the show Saturday.
For the show? Yeah, maybe I will.
I'll
consider that. All right, local shout outs. Not a whole lot. Because I was kind of thinking about it. Like, there's so many basketball games. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to keep track of all of what's going on. So I'm just looking for like little highlights and what I can find, And here's a few things I found. So Wyatt Lookenhouse had his first game back after the football injury.
Okay.
31 points in his debut.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
So they lost, unfortunately, to Titusville, but that's a way to make your presence felt coming off a football injury in the basketball season. Pretty badass. Alyssa Farr scored 12 in a Warren girls win over Du Bois. She was 3 for 3 from shooting threes. Had a pretty nice game. She got the player of the game, Icy Ink player of the game. I think that's brought to you by Your Daily Local, if I'm not mistaken. Ike girls basketball. So this is good too. Defeated Kane for the second win of the year. That matches their season win total from last year. So they were 2-20 last year, already at the 2-win mark early in the season. So they're already trending the right way. I don't know how it's going to finish out for them, but still a good mark to say, hey, last year, wasn't great. And we're already at 2 wins there. So, real quick before I move on from high school stuff, you have the plaques done, correct?
I do have the plaques done. Not here with me that I can show you, but they are done. Yes.
Okay, so we need to maybe after the new year when things kind of get back to normal time-wise, like everybody's life's weird this time of year, then we'll get in touch with Clay and Penley and figure out a time that we can go up there and present the plaque and take a picture or whatever to Lily and Mike, the winners of Best Fall Athlete. So those are done. So we're moving in the right direction there.
Yep.
Maybe I'll shoot an email to those guys or something to try and sort that out when we could do it, and hopefully your schedule gets back to not as crazy.
That makes 2 of us. They're hoping that. At least 2 of us.
Shout out to two of my coworkers. So Coach Joe Sperveri got some Bill Belichick stuff happening. He's 3-0 in his coaching debut at the YMCA School Age League. He's pretty stoked about it. I told him I'd give him a shout out. I'm rooting for him. This is where it all begins, right? This is where everybody's story starts in their coaching life. Well, not everybody, but people.
Spro doesn't strike me as a basketball guy.
I don't think he ever played basketball. He was a wrestler, 100%. But that just shows you he did some homework on his own, and he's 3-0. Also, Doherty and Tony Thrift, 3-0 7th grade Beatty boys basketball.
Okay.
So yeah, they got some coaching talent in the midst of WPD. That might be the pool where everybody starts pulling from. They're looking for coaching talent. The coaching tree at WPD might be the one to look at.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, buzz and buzzkill. What are you buzzing on today?
What am I buzzing on? Well, I actually got two things I'm buzzing on. First and foremost, buzzing on the 49ers because damn, it's nice to have the NFC West won. It's done. Can't be worse than the 3 seed. Love the hot stat that's out right now. Teams are 1-12 after facing the 49ers. Didn't realize that. So the next week, the Niners kick the shit out of you, and then you go lose again. Love to see it. Think that's a great stat. And the other thing that's got me buzzing is watching the fucking Cowboys lose. God damn, I love it. It's the only thing that's made me fucking happy all week is watching them. It might have made me happier watching them lose than watching the 49ers win Thursday night. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. I don't know. Actually, I should have put something in overreaction, and I didn't need to because I knew you'd probably rip on them anyways. But yeah, that was a 17-point lead they had right against Jacksonville.
Yep. Hey, best defense in the league. Best defense in the league.
Zay Jones' career game.
Yeah, against the best defense in the league. That's what everyone kept saying. Micah Parsons, 4,000 sacks this season. Where's he at? Where's he been?
4,000. All right. What's got me buzzing? With you, a few things. Obviously, like I already said, hitting the golf ball today. I love doing that. I'm excited to get to Baldy's here at noon with coworker Kyle. We're gonna play a couple hours there and just get some swings in. All the Christmas parties happening. I love this time of year. You get to see a bunch of family and everything. It's Asher's first Christmas, so it's cool. Kind of just feeling that out. Of course, he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He just, but he got a wagon. Like my mom got him a radio flyer and we were pulling him around the garage in it. And he was just like loving life. So it's cool. And also bull season. I love the random, hey, it's 2:00 on a Tuesday, turn on the TV. Oh, you got a college football game to watch. Like I'm into that. Regardless of who's playing, it's fun to watch. Maybe place a small wager, things like that. So, that's what's got me buzzing this week. Buzzkill, what do you got?
Well, I got a laundry list, but this is a short show, so I'm going to go with something nice and simple. NFL officiating. I get one break from my shit life this week to watch football, and I got to watch just the dog shittiest of dog shit calls all weekend long. Specifically, Thursday night, Niners game, Nick Bosa hits Geno Smith while the ball is still in his hands. Interception, pick six, roughing the passer. What the fuck do you want him to do? Tackles him, textbook, perfect tackle, ball still in his hand. And because he ran into a Seahawks lineman and that kind of like stopped him from just flopping right down, they're like, oh, he slammed him to the ground. Yeah. He was fully laid out. Oh, just the NFL officiating is dog shit. Just
saw that me. Play. Agree with you on that one. That was, although anytime something like that happens, I immediately side with the officials and call Bosa a dirtbag because it pisses you off. It's just classic dirtbag Bosa being a piece of shit.
Damn him and his form tackling.
Mm-hmm. All right. My buzzkill, kind of along the lines of where you're at. The NFL is fixed talk that just anytime there's games that happen a certain way, i.e. the Vikings-Colts game, down 33-0 or whatever it was, come back and win in overtime. Well, it was fixed. Vegas had their way. No, they didn't. The line. You have to look at the line before you're going to start bitching about this. First of all, I didn't watch the entire game But you were texting me and you were watching it and said that the officials were royally screwing the Vikings for the most part. Is that correct?
That is one. Again, I kind of
Okay.
like quit watching it halftime, and then as they came back, I turned it back on.
The line opened at 4.5, closed at 3.5. They won by 3. They still didn't cover. It was 190 minus 190 on the money line, which if you took that, whatever. I don't see that as being, that wasn't an overly popular bet this week. It's not a lot of value. You have to bet $190 to win 100. Like you're not, that's not something that a lot of people are going to pony up to do. So, between that, the Giants game, which there was a trash no call at the end of the game. We've all seen the photo, the Redskins, or I'm sorry, Commanders receiver getting hugged by the Giants player. Still didn't matter as far as the spread went. If that game would have, so let's hypothetically say they call that and Washington scores. They still have to get the 2-point conversion. Let's say they do that and it goes to overtime. Line was still 4.5. So they would have had to got the ball first and scored a touchdown to cover that spread. So to give any type of NFL as fixed talk, it's trash. It's a stupid argument. Too many mouths to feed. You know how eager some of these players who didn't make it in the NFL would be to put this story out there that it is rigged and fixed, and they would make buku bucks for breaking that story. Do the refs have influence in games? Of course they do.
I think, again, I think going by the point spread is wrong for what people are trying to say. I think people are trying to say like the NFL is basically WWE, where we're not talking about gambling lines. They wanted the Vikings to win that game, which you told me. I didn't hear anyone else say that, and I can't believe anyone even said that because the refs literally just 2 absolutely horrible calls that wiped off defensive touchdowns by the Vikings that would have got them in the game quicker. The Commanders Giants game. Okay, there's 2 iffy calls by the refs down there. The Terry McLaurin thing. I don't know if you caught that, where he like checks with the ref to see he's on the line, and the ref says, "Yeah, you're good," and then immediately throws the flag.
Yeah,
like, that was okay. That you could say that was iffy. They're trying to get the Giants win. You could make that dog eat with me a little bit. You could buy that story. But when you told me that someone said the Vikings and Colts game was fixed, yeah, Torrey says stole a TD from the Vikings. No, they stole 2 TDs from the Vikings. 2 absolutely. One was absolutely horrible, where they called the guy down and he wasn't even close to down. The other one, they call forward progress on Michael Pittman when he's still diving forward. I mean, it's just piss poor officiating. There's no way that game was fixed for the Vikings. Quite the opposite, actually. I would say they were trying to get the Colts to win. If you're telling me there's a fix,
right?
Just dog shit.
But the reason I bring the lines into it is because primarily what you will see on any thread where people are bitching that it's fixed is they'll reference Vegas one way or another. They will say, "Well, Vegas had their say," or "Vegas this, Vegas that." Like, and it's dumb. Like then. It's people who don't. If you don't know what the line is, and it, and here's the thing: let's say the Vikings did come back and cover that spread. That's called a bad beat. Those things happen all the time. Like it's not uncommon for go bet 3 straight days of college basketball. You will find a game where you get screwed by the half point on some meaningless long 3-pointer that a guy threw up just because they were getting, who cares? And you lose that way. Scott, what's his name? Van Pelt. Is he the bald guy?
Yeah.
Van Pelt has his own segment called Bad Beats where he goes through and shows, what the line was and how it ended poorly for somebody who was betting on one side that it looked pretty safe and then it wasn't all of a sudden. It's just, I don't know. But yeah, that rant for Buzzkill went a little longer than I wanted, but it's so annoying to listen to that. And then somebody's like sharing an Uber fact, which Uber fact has been, I've always said should be called Uber Thoughts because it's not. A lot of their facts are incorrect. They aren't facts whatsoever. Yeah. And they're, that's what spurned this whole thing was a lot of people were like, oh, well, Uber Facts says that they're labeled as an entertainment industry, which means they can write how the story goes, basically. And it's okay. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just it makes no sense in the realm of like, look at past winners, the way things play out. Like what are they gaining? What were they gaining from Brady winning a bunch of Super Bowls?
Correct. I mean, to me, the one thing that stands out is, like I said, NFL officiating is so bad. People are starting to think that they can't possibly be that bad. The fix is it. Like that tells you there's a problem. When this is being generated, that tells you have an officiating problem.
Well,
Make these guys full-time fucking employees and get this figured out.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, but wouldn't, if it was fixed, the NFL start sprinkling in more small market teams winning Super Bowls so that their market grew in their location? Like, football is already popular in Dallas. Pittsburgh's a big football town. Like, all these teams that have a history of winning, if you start allowing the Detroit Lions to win one every once in a while, or ever, or these smaller, the Jaguars, whoever. Like, if you start putting them on the map, that does nothing but benefit your company. Football is not going to die in Dallas because they aren't making the playoffs or winning the Super Bowl. They haven't done that.
That's quite obvious. Yeah, quite obvious.
Right. So it just makes no fucking sense to me that people like, if it's so fixed, they could do things to up the worth of that company by making it popular in places it's not as popular.
Yeah, to me, if you're going to
i.e. the South, let's talk about that in and of itself. College football is king down South.
Yep.
So let's start pumping up Southern teams winning the Super Bowl. So the popularity, I mean, I use the example, I've used this before. When I lived in Chattanooga, Tennessee, the Titans started that season. I found a bar that was a Bills backers bar. There was probably like 15, 20 fans there, but there was other fans of other teams in this bar. It's called Taco Mac. And it wasn't until the Titans were 13-0 that year, 2007 or 8, can't remember exactly which one, that place you started seeing Titans fans. It's not that they don't exist, it's that they don't give a shit. I mean, they're more worried about what, Georgia is doing, or Alabama or Tennessee or whoever.
I've always understood that, like, that's how it is in the South, though. They don't give a shit about the NFL. Like, college football is what's big for them. They love college football.
So that's my point, though, is if the NFL was so fixed, why don't we start ramping up Southern teams winning that shit so that teams, so that it starts gaining popularity there. So you get it a little, teams, a bigger following.
See, I think, to me, if you're going by that angle, the logic has to be that the NFL is doing things that keep the average fan interested. They don't want that, like you said, like the Dallas Cowboys. It means nothing if they win, but national fan base. Same with the Steelers. They want the average fan, not the diehard fan. They want the average fan to pay attention to what's going on with the league. But it like you said, it's just too much going on. It's not. Would it be officiating? Would it be fair?
Terrible. Would it be fair to say that the average fan knows who, like, the most hated teams in the league are? Like, let's use Dallas as an example.
Yeah.
Like, use Dallas as an example.
Yep.
If Dallas is widely loved, widely hated. So if it's fixed, don't you want the villain to succeed every once in a while? Because that's what, right. So it's just, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's get into NFL. Wait, did you do your buzzkill? Yeah, you did. The Cowboys.
Yeah. Yep.
As we continue using them as an example for everything. But all right, let's get into reality overreaction. Week 15. Reality or overreaction. I started you off with an easy one. Jags Lions Super Bowl.
Two teams that aren't even in the playoffs are going to go to the Super Bowl. Overreaction. Although,
now, okay,
I do think there's a good chance one of these teams is going to sneak in.
Follow-up question, though. Would you hate it if this was the Super Bowl? Like, would you be like, well, that's shitty. Who wants to watch that? Or would you be like, this is kind of cool?
No, yeah, I think it was really shitty because that the Lions beat the fucking 49ers.
Well, right.
And I'd probably be pissed off.
Besides that, though. Because, I mean, that would mean Buffalo got beat by somebody, too. So, sure. But wouldn't this be more entertaining than, say, the teams that are repeatedly making it, a major run every year?
I mean, I like chaos, so I think I would maybe be okay with it. But, like, I could see how the average fan would be like, I don't want to watch the Lions or the Jags. You're still going to watch I'd be one of the people you're watching for the commercials at this point in time.
Commercials have been trash for a decade.
That is true. But I would watch this game
in a heartbeat. I think it'd be awesome.
It might be a 50 to 48 game. Ain't no
Yeah.
defense being played there.
Yeah, I'd be into it. Reality or overreaction? The Chiefs aren't looking elite the last few weeks.
It's the 100% reality. They just don't look like world beaters. They're finding a way to get it done. And it's the same thing we said about the Bills earlier in the year. That's what matters. You have to find a way to win games when you're not at your best. But the Chiefs don't scare me. I mean, the Bengals are the hottest team in the AFC right now by far. I think this is 100% reality. There's no fear of the Chiefs right now.
Reality overreaction. Wait, hold on. I need to talk on this
Yeah.
too, because I texted you about this.
Yeah.
And it just got me thinking, because I was like, man, the Chiefs are probably lucky Russ got hurt in that game 2 weeks ago, because Russell Wilson was looking for the first time all year like the quarterback they paid a shitload of money to have come to Denver.
Yep.
Like, he played a very good game, then he got a concussion and whatever. But then fast forward to this week, where the 1-win Texans take the Chiefs to OT.
Yep.
If the Bills were in this position where that happened 2 weeks in a row, like the way it played out, regardless of if they got the wins or not, I know exactly how much mud would be getting thrown at them for this, and the Chiefs get nothing. They're like, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes does it again in overtime. He just finds ways to win. He's just the greatest ever. And I'm like, I just know if this was the Bills, they'd be dogging them for anything they possibly could.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of, in a way, though, I'm okay with this, because I like that they're not like this huge, heavy AFC favorite now.
Yeah,
I think that's better.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the Bengals are probably the hottest team over there right now, but that could change. There's still 3 weeks to go in the season. But
and
the
Buffalo
Chiefs are not striking
on a
fear.
Monday night.
Who's that? The Bengals. Yeah, yep, that'll be a big
in 2
game
weeks.
there. Yep.
That's gonna be an awesome game.
Yep.
All right. Reality overreaction. Brock Purdy. I want to Brock and roll all night, and Purdy every day can lead the 49ers to a Super Bowl.
I mean, I think there's reality to this. I think that I'm not as high on him as a lot of people are. This whole Trey Lance doesn't have a job is just the absolute fucking dumbest take I've ever heard. But he's played pretty good against 3 average defenses. The Dolphins a half a game, play the Bucks, who are not good. You played the Seahawks defense, who's not good. But the NFC does not look tough. It doesn't scare me at all. I think Locke can be taken away, his composure up in Seattle. I kind of thought that was a game. That's why I picked the Seahawks last week. So that's a tough place to go play. You're rookie, Mr. Irrelevant. It's a big spot. And he handled the moment well. I mean, I think I texted you at one point in time, this is the most collected that 49ers quarterback has looked in Seattle in I don't know how long, since I can remember. I mean, I think they had one time they had to take a timeout to prevent a delay of game call, but that was it. Other than that, he handled the pressure well. He looked sharp. I really think with the NFC, especially if Jalen Hurts is not right, I don't see how the Niners aren't going to go to a Super Bowl. Getting Debo back, getting Mitchell back. I think this is reality.
Bad time for him to have a shoulder sprain.
Correct. Yes. Not ideal.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
I didn't even know that took place during the game against the Bears, but
we can I'd say we can get to Andy's comment here about if Jimmy G comes back in the playoffs. Well, that's not happening anymore. They already said that the hopes of him coming back have already been gone. Not going to happen. And even if he would come back, they wouldn't go to him. So, yeah.
All right. Just throwing a couple comments up there.
Yep.
We've already seen what Goff can do in a Super Bowl. That's
Yep.
going back to the Lions, Jags Super Bowl. I don't know why. I just kind of wish that would happen. It's weird, but I think this one's kind of a given. Cliff Kingsbury will be fired after this season.
I think it's complete reality. I'd be utterly shocked if it wasn't the reality of the situation. It's just not good. It hasn't been good for years. Team's a mess. I think they just have to go in a different direction.
Yeah, second half Cliff has turned into full season Cliff.
Yes.
and they just suck. They just are not good. I mean, of course, Burr being down doesn't help anything, but Colt McCoy's been pretty trashy. But it's just, I mean, there's video this year of them two on the sidelines getting into it. So they just paid the midget a bunch of money, so they're probably going to move on. They ain't moving on from him, right?
Exactly.
They're moving on from Cliff. So reality overreaction. After, 4 or 5 straight losses, the Titans will still win the AFC South.
Man, I think this is an overreaction. I'm not saying it's not possible, but right now the way they look, I wouldn't say that there's any guarantee that the Jags don't come back and steal this thing from them.
4 straight losses is so the Titans went from 7-3 to 7-7. Jaguars 1 game back on them, and they play each other here in like 2 weeks.
Yep, and the Jags just beat them a week or 2 ago, I believe. So
correct. Yeah,
that could be a huge game. Then this is what the NFL wanted.
Yeah. All right. Reality overreaction. The Bills' offense appears back on track.
I'm going to say overreaction. Now, albeit I tell you, I slept through this game Saturday because I've been working crazy hours. But you told me, Allen's back on track. And I said, wait a minute. Brock Purdy scored 33 on the Dolphins. Josh Allen scored 32. And you're telling me that's back on track? Unless Brock Purdy is Tom Brady 2.0, I'd say they're trending the right direction, but I wouldn't say they're back on track.
Did the Niners not have a 1 or 2 defensive scores in that game against the...
I don't recall.
Well, I'm going to look because I think Brock Purdy did not score 33 points on Miami.
Garoppolo might have scored some of them before he got hurt. I don't remember. I was drinking during that game. I can't recall. I was drinking.
Let's see. Yeah, Greenlaw, fumble return for a touchdown.
Okay, so they had 1. Yeah, okay.
So he scored 27 points, and that's a lot of field goals too. And I don't know.
Still got to put the team.
Josh looked good though. That's what I'm saying. Josh looked good. He's hasn't been turning the ball over like he was kind of getting into there. It's been like 3 games, I think, since 3-4 games. Either way, the Bills went through. They're on a 5-game win streak, and they went through that important stretch of the schedule after starting 0-2 in the division. Yep. Interesting also, a lot of so McKenzie had a fairly decent game against the Dolphins the other night, and what I noticed is that they were putting him and Beasley on the field at the same time.
Okay.
Which was, so I don't know if that's something that's going to benefit McKenzie here moving forward, if that double slot is what they're, kind of going to look at moving on. I don't know. But all I know is I can tell you I'm super fucking nervous for this game this week because Justin Fields just runs the football like 20 times a game.
Correct. Yeah, he can't throw it, but he can keep him swirling up.
Man, I don't like that at all. That seems like a game that the only thing I'll say Buffalo has working for him is that it's a win and clinch the East scenario. Yeah. So the last time they were in that scenario on the road, of course it was against Drew Lock, a little bit different, but they went into Denver and just beat the shit out of the Broncos. So I'm hoping the motivation is on Buffalo's side to where, they got a good game plan and execute. But all right, last one. Reality or overreaction. Rodgers and the Packers will make a push.
Overreaction. They beat the fucking Rams. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They looked like shit. No chance. There's just no chance. They're done. Dead in the water. They have probably about the same playoff chances as the Browns and the fucking Steelers do, which is technically not eliminated, but they're not making the playoffs.
Their scenario is they have to win out, and they need some help already. So.
Yeah, well, I didn't look to see. It's probably not quite as bad over there, but it's like the Browns. They got to win out, and then they need 5 of 7 scenarios to hit for them to even have a chance. And I'd have to think the Packers at 8 losses, they need a lot of help too. The Giants are already at 8 wins. They can't catch the Cowboys for the wild card. The Giants win one more game, and they can't. The Giants have a tie, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
So that they can't. If the Giants win one more, they're eliminated. So you got Commanders and the
Yeah,
Lions knocking down the door.
I saw Ramage posted their playoff scenario that they need, and it's like it involves Giants and Washington, and they needed one to lose one and the other to lose two, maybe. I can't remember, but so that's already partially working out. But realistically, you got to win all their games too. They got Miami this coming week. So that's gonna, it won't be an easy game, but I do think they're playing better. I think Rodgers is starting to find rhythm with specifically Watson. They cut Sammy Watkins, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, well, Dobbs is back. That made sense.
So
Cobb's been good. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they do, but I do think that they're playing much better football than they did in the first half of the year for sure. But
yeah.
All right. Apple reportedly bails on the NFL ticket sweepstakes. So I know that this has been officially confirmed, but it's been a lot of outlets, one source using the same. All the outlets using the same source. But this is big because it leaves Amazon, which I think is most likely. I kind of thought that to begin with, honestly, just because they're getting so involved with everything on Thursday night, and which I'd be totally cool with that. If they wanted, I'd be A-okay with Amazon getting it. But I just hope fucking DirecTV bows out, and just stays out, because I can't wait to cancel DirecTV.
Did I tell you about the DirecTV problems I'm having?
No, I thought you didn't have them.
I got rid of them, and then I paid my last bill, which was supposed to be my last bill, and then they sent me one more bill saying I owed them $30 because even though I overpaid for the 1 week that I had it in October, they try to charge me for the whole NFL ticket, because if you don't cancel by September 5th, even though I have no access to it, they're trying to charge me for the last 3 months. So I'm ready to go burn every DirecTV building fucking down right now. That's where I'm at in my life. They were supposed to send me some email because I filed a complaint about it and haven't heard anything. They basically said, well, you don't have to pay us the $30, but we're going to keep the other $160 that you overpaid. So
here's what I'm going through with them right now is they gave me NFL ticket for free because I called and complained enough.
Yep.
So I got NFL ticket for free. It's in the notes, right? So, when you call and they're like, let me check the notes from the last time you called.
Yep.
They still add it to my bill every month and told me I have to call in every month for them to remove the $48 or whatever it is. So I have to call them idiots once a month because they can't just somehow not put it on my bill. They still are doing that. So
they're trash.
I literally can't wait to just rip that dish out of my yard. I'm probably going to maybe do some Office Space scene with a bat, some gangster music, and we're beating the shit out of it. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something. They
didn't make me send my boxes back, so I'll get right on with you. We could smash those too, because fuck them. They're just criminals. Absolutely criminals.
I think
they ask me every week. I get an email saying, please come back, please come back. And I'm going to start responding with, I'll come back. I'll consider coming back when I get my $160 I overpaid back. Until then, you go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I'm very anti-DirecTV at this point.
Same.
Okay, this is I got the details on this. So the PIAA approves NIL deals for high school athletes. Chris Bunk's already like, hey, what up? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So, but there could be a problem with that. Are you ready to hear this?
Yep.
It is effective immediately, so these can begin. But here are the stipulations, which, from what I read, much stricter than other states that have passed it so far. NIL agreements must not be used as an incentive for enrollment decisions or membership on a team. So you can't woo somebody to switch schools with money. No school, this is where I think we might get screwed. No school, coach, booster, clubs, collectives, administrators, or alumni may arrange or pay for a student's NIL deal.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know that we can do something for Chris Bunk because he plays for Eisenhower. You're alumni. I don't know that we could get anything for say Touchdown Tommy because I went to Florida. I'm alumni. So I might have to send out an email to whoever at the PIAA and see what they have to say about it.
Yeah, that's wild. How are you going to do in a small town, especially
right. So they're kind of fucking ruining this whole thing before it's even started. So I don't know. Well, that's something we're gonna have to look into before we come up with anything. And Chris already knows. I was like, dude, we don't have like this. Doesn't make us any.
Rich.
I can't give you this.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, maybe we'll get you a T-shirt, but I'd just give them that anyways. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look into it before we commit to anything there. I guess Youngsville is good. NIL deals at Youngsville.
Yeah.
And lastly, students cannot promote anything endorsing adult entertainment products, alcohol products, casinos, or gambling operations. Wow, geez, I wonder if because we talk about gambling, would that rule us out?
I mean, we're not a gambling organization. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not a gambling operation. I think we'd be okay there. Tobacco or electronic
alumni.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit, but electronic smoking products, prescription pharmaceuticals, or weapons, firearms, or ammunition. So all those Smith & Wessons we were going to give out to the high school kids, they can't do that now either.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll dig into that and see what we can do, but a lot of rules. Lastly, before we take our first break, Argentina defeats France to win the World Cup. I do have a small rant to give on this because I kept seeing posts over the last week of people saying, "Oh, pretty quiet from the soccer's boring crowd this week." That's because we weren't watching the games.
No one cares.
Yeah, that's something you say once, and then you don't we don't salivate over World Cup posts and be like, "Oh, soccer's boring." I mean, maybe some people do that because there's a lot of idiots on social media, but I don't know. Soccer to me, I put it in for Americans. This isn't for the rest of the world. Obviously, they love it, but soccer to me is like Star Wars and Nickelback. If you're American, you can pretend like you like those three things because it's kind of edgy. You're in a different group, a smaller group. If you like those three, maybe not Star Wars, but definitely soccer and Nickelback, and you can like those things. But I think even those people deep down know that none of them are cool.
No, you missed the boat on this. That's a terrible comparison. Let me give you a good comparison here.
Those are great.
It's no. This is the comparison. It's like people that drink IPAs and sit there and try and tell you, "Yeah, I'm fucking really enjoying myself right now."
That's the same club.
This is great.
Yes, that's the same club. You can include them with Nickelback fans and with Star Wars fans. They sit there and watch it, and they might tell you that they're enjoying it, but deep down, the guy who's drinking an IPA with the big beard, the nice brown boots, flannel shirt, but can't cut any piece of firewood, or change a tire. Those guys, they aren't liking those beers. It tastes like metal. It's
exactly.
And they'll have the balls to be like, "Oh, Busch Light." I'm a beer snob. Busch Light. Ugh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I can drink, a shitload of these and still go change a tire if I needed to. You have 3 IPAs and the alcohol content's so high that you think you're a little bit better than everybody else. I'm with you, but I think that those people all get lumped into the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'll enjoy an IPA from time to time, but if I'm going to go drink, I'm not bringing you a case of 2X or something. I'm bringing Busch Light. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like soccer. I get you.
I've tried several craft beers, and I'm at the point now where I won't try it because I already know what it's going to taste like to me. I don't know if it's an acquired taste. Some people would say regular beer at some point in your life is it's an acquired taste. So maybe if I drank enough of them, but I just don't. I can't force myself to do it. I remember me and Tim during the Bills draft, whenever they took Ed Oliver, what was that, 3-4 years ago? Yep. He bought us 2 craft beers called Pils Mafia, and it was a Buffalo Bill, and neither of us we forced them down. Bad. They were horrible. Yeah, it wasn't good. But he bought them, and we were like, we gotta let's just do it. Yeah. So we did it, but then immediately went to a normal beer that tasted better.
It's like most Americans with soccer then, where it's like, yeah, World Cup's on. We pretend like we care, but in actuality,
they don't. And they know that what they're watching isn't that fun. Like they're like it's 1-0, 90 minutes in. Now they're doing 5 minutes of extra time or whatever, and it's just like ugh. But I just thought it was funny that people were like, "Ooh, kind of quiet on the soccer is boring crowd." It's like, yeah, because we don't give a fuck.
We don't
like
care.
We're not. We're not.
Didn't even know they were still playing.
Right. Yeah. And like whatever day it was, what was it? Saturday, Sunday? When was
I don't even remember.
Either one of those days there was NFL on, so it didn't matter.
Exactly.
Like
Definitely
those days were still great in my opinion.
Yep.
And without watching some crazy game between France and Argentina and Lionel Messi, the GOAT, whatever. Cool. Not interested. All right. Going to take our first break here. The Buzz is brought to you by Busch Light. Attention hunters, your favorite camo cans are back. Get it wherever you purchase your adult beverages. Please drink responsibly. And Napoli's Pizza. That's right. When there is football season on Tbsp, there is Napoli's weekly specials, pickup or delivery available, located in North Warren. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with Sketty on.
Whenever you crack open a Busch Light, the mountain starts singing.
Busch. It's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you.
What is going on?
Hit it, Giant Kenny G.
It's so smooth.
Head for the mountains of Busch Light beer.
Hungry? Watching the game? Order some Napoli's Pizza, voted the best pizza in the Times Observer Reader's Choice every year. Homemade, hand-tossed, delicious hot pizza, stromboli, salads, subs, and so much more. Located in North Warren, come on in or call 814-723-7455 and ask about our specials. Pickup or delivery available 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, that's 814-723-7455.
Hi, this is Brian Hagberg, and I wanted to take a moment and tell you about our new website, yourdailylocal.com. Your Daily Local is your new home for news, sports, and events in Warren County and beyond. Our goal is to cover the people, places, events, and happenings that matter to you in a variety of ways, including writing, video, and audio. And the best part? All of our content is available for free. Head to yourdailylocal.com to get the news you need when you need it.
Hey there, everyone. This is Phil with JP Photography. I know. A photography ad on a sports show? I get it. You're here for sports talk and listening to Joe and Sketty's insane rambling.
Wait, what?
But bear with me for a few. I just want to tell you that JP Photography not only offers wedding photography, but also does events, engagements, headshots, family photos, and even some product photography. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for JP Photography or go directly to our website at johnphilphotography.com. That's JONPHIL photography.com.
He's absolute trash.
Sketty on. Let's have a listen to what Sketty's on this week.
0% chance that works.
Well, Sketty On is brought to you by Complete Roofing Systems, where I don't know where my ad read is. I don't know what I did with it, but it's gone. But yeah, Complete Roofing Systems, they're great. They're actually doing my roof right now. I don't know if anyone can hear the echoing through of them stomping on the roof. That's not Santa. That is the roofing team up there ripping this thing off and hopefully going to be done tomorrow. So yeah, I think it's crsroofingteam.com, I believe. I can't remember.
Sounds right.
I've only had one sheet for it for like a year and a half.
Also,
just gone.
Also, we got to redo Phil's commercial too because it's not John Phil Photography anymore. It's just
that's
Phil.
right. I forgot.
It's
just Phil.
Yeah, I talked to him. We'll get that taken care of here soon. But it is just Phil Photography now. Him and John have parted ways mutually. It wasn't a bad breakup. I don't think they're still buddies, but it was just a business move they wanted to make, and so it's just Phil Photography. And we'll get that ad updated as soon as we can. All right.
Yeah, well, 'tis a season of giving, and for two franchises that battled it out for most of the 2000s, the Colts and the Patriots, and the Patriots got the better of the Colts for the most of that, the Pats finally gave the Colts a gift and covered up the absolute biggest comeback in NFL history the Colts allowed. 33 points, 36 points, whatever the hell it was, they came back and won. Total collapse, worst thing we've ever seen. Would have got its own segment on this show, but the Patriots happened. And I've been thinking all week of trying to figure out what I can say about this Patriots gaffe at the end of that game. The only thing I can think of is Warren. We're famous for the Warren State Hospital has the soccer grounds. You know, the little 4-year-old kids, you take your kid up there, you let them run around, not know what they're doing. That's the only thing I can compare what the Patriots did to, because it would be offensive to any other grade level of athlete to say, oh, that's junior high. That's offensive to junior high kids. How do you lateral the ball when it's a tie game? The first guy laterals it. Okay, maybe he thinks he's got a lane there. What the fuck was Jacoby Myers looking at? What was what was the best case scenario there? I'm going to throw this to Mac Jones, him and his fucking 6-second 40, and he's going to outrun someone and we're going to win this game? This absolutely blows my mind that Bill Belichick hasn't killed anyone or that he hasn't cut anyone. What are you fucking thinking? There's no grade level. I actually saw Dwight this morning at the gym, and Dwight said, if my kid started to do that, I'd run out there and tackle one of them before I let it happen. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-blowing. The worst loss I have ever seen in the history of the NFL. I have never seen anything so dumb, so out of place. How do you play a sport your whole life and you do this? That J.R. Smith no longer has the dumbest thing we've ever seen in sports when he's taking the ball out in a tie game instead of calling timeout. Jacoby Myers, Ramondre Stevenson, what the fuck were you thinking? The only good thing that came out of this was watching Chandler Jones, Derrick Henry, Mac Jones into the fucking ground as he goes in to score. Just absolutely atrocious by the Patriots. And you'll love to see it. You'll love to see it.
I'm in total agreement with everything on this rant. That game, not to mention I had the Patriots money line.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that was great. Also,
bad beat.
If you want to go back to bad calls, first of all, what happened to the pylon cam? Where did that go? Because the touchdown they awarded to the Raiders on their final drive there, that game, corner of the end zone, from the angle you can see him, it still looks like his foot is on the white. So I don't know how.
Oh, yeah, that was atrocious too. Yep,
yeah, so I don't know how that didn't get overturned, but I just am wondering, what happened to the cameras that were literally set up for that reason. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
they just turned them off for this game or what? I don't know, because I'm pretty sure that they exist, and I don't know. It was just strange to me, but yeah, it was that was a bad loss. When that play happened, I was extremely confused because I was like, well, what? They realized that they can take him no T, just take a knee, go get tackled. Who cares? At least you're still tied. You're going
exactly.
There's no purpose for them to do what they did, but
none at all. There's no level of sport.
Consequences are being paid for that. So
yeah, just totally overshadows the biggest comeback in the history of the NFL, or the biggest one where the Colts could have literally probably taken knees and punted the whole second half and won that game and still found a way to lose. I just, to overshadow that is impressive to me. That is impressive to me that the Patriots could do that. And it was nice of them. Of them. After Brady kicked their ass all those years, they said, here's a little Christmas present for you. We'll take the heat off you, Colts.
Yeah. Our only token Patriot fan, Hunter, says fire the whole team. Worse than the butt fumble. Agree with both.
Yes.
I'm surprised. I'm with you, though. I can't believe Bill didn't
someone should just be cut immediately. It'll be interesting to see this week when they line up. Are Stevenson and Myers in the lineup? Or are they going to be just buried at the bench? Because I can just see it being just don't even bother playing those guys. I don't know if anyone's still in fantasy. If you're starting either of those guys, which you probably shouldn't be if you're still playing at this point in the season, I wouldn't play him next week because there's a good chance Bill puts her ass on the bench and says, yeah, you can just stay here.
Yep. All right. Go ahead and wrap it up.
This week's Getting On was brought to you by Complete Roofing Systems, who I don't have an ad read for, but they're great. They're super. We'll have one next week. Listen to the show any other week. You can get their number, their website. You'll be fine.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with the things that sting.
Jones Pest Control, your hometown pest control company servicing residential and commercial properties in Warren and surrounding areas since 2015. Sean and his crew will work tirelessly to keep your home or business free of insects to rodents and everything in between. Contact Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548 and set up an appointment today. And remember, ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548.
Checkout means sales and services with 2 locations on Warren's east side. Their garage at 800 Lexington Avenue not only services cars sold by Means, but has knowledgeable staff and modern state-of-the-art equipment waiting to serve their hometown of Warren. Whatever you need, including alignments, tires, brakes, yearly or enhanced PA inspections, oil changes, and much more. Make your appointment today at 814-723-7191, extension 2.
It's now time for the things that sting. The worst stories in sports, according to Joe.
This week's Things That Stings, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. That's 814-230-9548. So before we get into Things That Sting, Sketty says he has breaking news.
Just announced something that we've covered previously on the show. Augusta has just said that any golfer that previously met the qualifications for the Masters will be allowed to play in the Masters. So basically, all the LIV guys that the PGA is trying to get banned will all be eligible and be there. Phil, DJ, Bryson, they'll all be back and be allowed to play in the Masters if they choose to.
Nice. As they should.
Not a surprise. Not surprised by that. Every tournament was doing that. The majors aren't going to keep these guys out, I don't think.
Right.
But yeah, glad to see that it's officially announced here.
All right, you ready to roll?
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to play us some music. I've been liking the music going in the background a little bit. Although I think I deleted a bunch of them because they were trash. Let's go with this one. Night driving. I think this is what we went with anyways for this. Just something calming while we talk about all the fucked up shit that's happening. All right. Follow up on the Griner release. We haven't touched on this yet. Obviously, our shows have been kind of hit or miss the past couple of weeks anyways. But so Griner's traded for the Merchant of Death. Pretty split, or do you think? I think the decision is that this was a bad trade by most people.
Anybody with a half a brain knows that this was a bad trade. The big thing I've been seeing, if you say anything about it, you're racist. Oh, you're racist. And don't get me wrong, there's people out there who are, yelling about like Paul Whelan not being involved in the trade and stuff like that. Like, it's great that we got Brittany Griner out of Russia. It really is. But for the price we paid, I mean, that's worse than fucking the price the Broncos paid to go get Russ. I mean, it's the worst trade of the season. It's absolutely horrible. I don't know what they were thinking. If that's the best they could do, they should have said, well, sorry, we're not going to do that. Let's go back to the table. We'll give you someone else. Just, again, glad that she's home, but man, what a stupid ass trade. To a country that's in the middle of a war, you're going to release this guy who they made a fucking movie about because he was such a prolific arms dealer. I don't like it. I think it's just a terrible trade. Absolutely terrible trade.
So here's something that I want to bring up that I've heard zero people talk about, because everybody goes right to the Marine left there, and they trade for Griner. Okay, so let's talk about a guy named Mark Fogel. Familiar? Have you heard this guy's name?
The name sounds familiar, so I'm going to know it when you tell me what happened.
Okay, Mark Fogel is 61-year-old. He's actually from Pennsylvania, where he was an international teacher, but he's from PA. Was arrested in Russia. He was actually sentenced in June to 14 years at a labor camp for trying to enter Russia with a small amount of medical marijuana that has been prescribed for chronic pain. A Pittsburgh native who'd been teaching in Russia for a decade, capping a long career at international schools in countries including Colombia, Venezuela, Oman, and Malaysia. So why is nobody talking about Mark Fogel, who essentially same crime, right? He doesn't even have the designation from the United States government that he's being wrongfully detained.
Yep.
So how the fuck does this guy go as not that without that designation? And if you read, I'll read this right here. A U.S. representative from Pennsylvania introduced a resolution to determine why Mr. Fogel has not received that designation. So, I mean, there's more to this story that I haven't, he wrote in a letter to his wife that it hurts that they're pushing to get Griner when he was there for the exact same thing, allegedly.
Yep.
It's just crazy to me. He possessed 17 grams or just over a half ounce of medical marijuana. That is, quote, egregious even under Russia's laws. So
yeah, it's really one of those things where, again, you know what this was? This was a political move by the Biden administration, purely political. This was not done with the intention of helping Brittany Griner out. This was done with the intention of helping get them votes. It's sickening. It really is sickening. Again, not that I want Brittany Griner to stay over there, but to trade an arms dealer who was actively trying to kill Americans to get Brittany Griner back, it boggles the mind. It really does. It boggles the mind.
Also puts up. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I don't think there's anyone. I understand we don't want any American over there in hard labor camp, but at the same time, you would have to tell me you're giving me every American back to get this guy over there, to release this guy. And even then, I would probably still say, well, can't do it.
Doesn't make I saw a good tweet that said, I don't want to hear shit from any of you anti-gun activists.
Oh yeah.
Saying anything about this because he's part of the reason illegal guns are put out into the world. If
you listen to Nick Wright says that everyone on who doesn't agree with this should be happy because everyone should have a gun. And I was just like, Nick, man, dude, I don't know if because his nose is so big that it took part of his brain to form part of that giant ass nose, but it's the fucking dumbest take in the history of time. There's a complete fucking difference between being pro-gun and being a fucking arms dealer.
Right. Yeah, so interesting that we'll see what happens. Now Griner's saying she is playing next season in the WNBA, which I still don't think half of the country can name what team she plays for, but
I couldn't tell you.
Phoenix Mercury, but I only know because that's who she said, hey, I plan on return to the Phoenix Mercury next year. I did read that. So follow up, Aqib Talib, we remember his brother was charged with the murder of Michael Hickman, who was a youth football coach. This is a shooting that happened at a youth football game. So Talib's been named in a wrongful death lawsuit in the shooting of the youth coach. Talib allegedly confronted Hickman and threw the first punch, escalating the situation. After what had already been a tense game, the lawsuit states that Hickman defensively backpedaled to extricate himself from the situation, and that Yaqub Talib pulled out a gun and fired approximately 5 shots at an action that caused Hickman to eventually lose his life. Yaqub Talib was reportedly not legally permitted to carry a handgun because he was a convicted felon at the time of the shooting. He was indicted on a felony murder charge by Dallas County grand jury in September. The Hickman family is seeking $1 million in damages and is asking for a trial by jury, so no settlement. That's what they say. That also could be a ploy to get a higher settlement, but that they want this to go straight to the jury trial. So, and last follow-up we have is Bobby Wagner, no charges for smoking that stupid protester who ran on the field. What was that, like early in the season? And
yeah, I forgot
as soon as Bobby Wagner crushed him, they like went to the police and filed a police report. And yeah, the police said, nah, I don't think so. You kind of opened yourself up to that. You went into his house, and I agree with that.
Yep.
You know, you're on their work turf. You shouldn't be. You're trespassing as it is. He slows you down, so security could, fuck yeah, that's a good hit, great hit, one of my favorite of the year.
Yep.
We didn't get a chance to talk about this, so I'm gonna actually have you tell this just a brief of what happened with the transfer and the hazing incident and so forth, and then we'll get into our boy Bobby Appleby.
Fucking douchebag. So I just happened to see an article. I think it was on Facebook. I believe Penn Live is where the article originated. But before the Class A state championship game in football, there was an article written about these three kids. I believe they were from Middleton High School. Middleton High School lost their football program because I believe middle of August, there was a hazing incident that there was video of. The incident happened on like whatever. The 12th. Video comes out on the 15th. Coaches resigned by the 18th. The superintendent, basically they were hazing kids. They were using one of the therapy like massage guns on these kids in a sexual manner, apparently. Whole team suspended for the year. They said no football, program suspended. They believe, according to the investigation, there was at least 6 more people that this happened with. It had happened over the course of a year. Somehow, someone's daddy hired a lawyer and got 3 of their star players eligible to play, found no wrongdoing because apparently they weren't at the facility the day the videotape broke, even though this has happened for a year. They transferred to Steeltown High, I believe, I think it was something like that. Steel City, Steel some shit.
Steel High,
go on to play for Steel High. They go on to play for the team. Team ends up winning the state championship. And I had tagged Joe in the post because I said, this is something we should cover, because in my mind, there's no way if you have 3-star senior players on this team, they didn't know that these hazing incidents were happening. Even if they weren't involved, they still knew that was happening and did nothing about it. For over the course of a year, it's not if it's a one-time thing, I could maybe give them out, but to me, in my mind, there's no way they should have been allowed to play, because again, you could argue with me till you're blue in the face and I'll tell you the same thing. There's no way they didn't know about it.
So what's awesome is in this Facebook thread, Sketty tags the podcast page so that we see it. And
hey, nothing else, just a tag. That was it.
Obvious things that sting story. So he tags the page in it. Just that's all he did, the tag. And this guy by the name of Bobby Appleby, who we later find out is the father of one of the 3 students who transferred to Steel High and won a state championship. He gets on there and starts saying, uh-oh, this guy's calling in the beehive, and starts just running his mouth to Sketty. And we're like, what the fuck? So then I start scrolling through other comments and I see that, I figure out he's the dad. And anybody who said something negative about this, he was on there running his mouth to them too. So he starts running his mouth to Sketty. And of course, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm going to jump in here. So I said, we have a segment that covers, weird stories like this. And that's literally all he did. So I don't know why you're coming after him. I said, but congrats to your son. And I hope recruiters don't see how his dad behaves on the internet, because he's being a total asshole for no reason. Yeah. So then he starts writing back, well, this isn't a weird story. This is about them being triumphant and overcoming blah, 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 blah. And we're like, okay, either way, strange sports story, right? It's not something that happens all the time.
When only 3 kids were allowed to transfer, and
they just so happened to all be really good.
Yeah, exactly. It's all 3 star players. It's not like it was 3 random players, 3 star players.
So yeah, it just turned into this huge thing, and it was hilarious because he was just like talking so much shit, and we're like, dude, like we literally like we never once presented an opinion of how we felt on it. And I was like, and you just start attacking sketty for no reason about it. And he's just, well, you guys don't know and what he's been through and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, either way, go find people who are talking shit about him. We're not. And he still just like kept going. And it was, I don't even remember how it ended, but
he got a little pissy because when he first started attacking us, calling in the Beehive Sports Guy podcast, I think I commented something to the effect of, when I see something, I report it. It's a weird concept. It's a weird concept.
Unlike what your son's team did. Good times making friends online.
And it made sense too, because had Eisenhower made it that far, that's who they would have played.
Yeah,
this was it's just it's messed up. Whole thing was messed up.
Yes, it is. All right, quick one here. Jerry Sullivan. He's been a beat writer for the Bills for a long time. I mean, Bruce Smith shared his unpleasant thoughts on Jerry in an interview not too long ago, where he called him like a punk ass bitch, and that was in like 1997. But Jerry Sullivan has been like, any article you read on him, he's typically negative about the Bills. Like, he's that beat writer that like, this is who you're assigned to, but you just hate on him all the time. He's fired for comments made on a Bills specific podcast where one of the hosts was reading questions that were sent in from his phone, and he says the female's name, and Jerry Sullivan immediately started criticizing female fans, saying that they don't understand critical journalism, and Buffalo just came unglued on him. And it's actually been a lot of fun to watch. So he got fired from all the publications he worked for. His bio on Twitter now reads independent journalist, liberal Democrat, and women's sports advocate, which everybody, So I don't know if he's like being a wise ass by doing that. I know he did say that he's like, hey, I wrote a bunch of stories on local female athletes that typically go unnoticed. It's probably not because of the athlete. It's probably because of the fucking idiot who wrote it. So, Jerry Sullivan, douchebag, see you bye. And it's been... Oh, and also he's the same reporter who, to give an example, says to Josh Allen after the Jets game, this doesn't look like an offense that can win a Super Bowl. The one that it went viral, Josh just looked at him and went, okay.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, he's that's the same guy. So he's a fuck, and it's good that he's gone. Nobody liked the dude anyways. Amari Stoudemire, former 15-year NBA vet, charged with misdemeanor battery after allegedly hitting one of his teenage daughters in the face. According to a copy of the police report obtained by the Miami Herald, Stoudemire allegedly struck one of his two teenage daughters during an argument at his Miami home Saturday night. The report did not identify which of Stoudemire's two daughters it was. They are ages 17 and 14. Stoudemire allegedly confronted the girl and accused her of being disrespectful to his mother during a phone call, according to the police report. When she denied it, he told her, "You're talking back again," and punched her in the jaw, leaving her bleeding, the report says. The girl contacted her mother, Stoudemire's ex-wife, who came to the home, picked up the two girls and their two brothers, and contacted police. The report says that when officers went to Stoudemire's home, he told them the teenage girl was sad because she received a whooping from him for being disrespectful and a liar. He then invoked his right to remain silent. So, fine line between child abuse and discipline. I see that a lot at work. That's something that I have to, hear out what exactly transpired and figure it out from there. But there is a fine line, and some kids need the ass whooping. A punch to the jaw, probably not. Probably not gonna side with that as being discipline. That's just beating up your child, which is illegal. So, what an idiot. If you wanted to, maybe an open hand, you don't talk like that. But a punch to the jaw, leaving her bleeding, that's gonna get you. That's gonna get you arrested. 10 out of 10 times, that's gonna get you arrested. So, idiot. Okay, this one I don't have anything written on today, but this news broke today. Willie McGinnis charged with felony assault with a deadly weapon enhancement. The video came out of him in LA or Hollywood or somewhere at some popular lounge, where he comes up with 2 other guys to this dude who's kind of like sitting in a booth, and Willie just starts beating the hell out of him. Towards the end of the video, grabs a bottle, smashes it over his head, and then kind of disappears out of the video. But no word as to what it was about, who the victim was. But he's been charged with a serious crime, and it's on video. So Willie McGinnis fucked for sure.
Yeah, I actually was going to bring it up because I just saw that on the Yahoo front page when I opened it up today. I didn't read any of the article.
He's a current announcer somewhere too,
Yeah,
isn't he?
I
Like on
thought so,
CBS or something like that, Fox.
I thought he was part of one of those.
Yeah.
If he's not anymore, he was part of one of those programs, yes.
Yeah, it's oh, and actually Josh is in the comments and says yep, we did. But yeah, I just don't have, there's nothing out yet about like motive or anything like that. So I'm kind of curious to see like what this guy did that caused this to happen. Probably not something that's going to get him off the hook for hitting him over the head with a bottle.
Correct.
Last but not least, idiot of the year, the Texas Ranger fan who caught Aaron Judge's 60-second home run ball, rejected $3 million immediately that was offered to him because he wanted it to go to auction where he thought he would get more. He got $1.5 million at the auction. So pissed away another $1.5 million by trying to go the greedy route. Didn't work out for him. So he gets the Idiot of the Year award. So that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing good on time here. So going to take our quick break and be back with 3-bagger. Do you have anything you need to add before we do that?
Nope, we're good.
All right. This edition of The Things That Sting is powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. That's 814-230-9548. Take a quick break and we'll be back with my hive. Blue Line Auto, located at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren, is locally owned and operated and is a family-run business specializing in vehicle sales and service. They offer state and safety inspections and general car repairs, including but not limited to brakes and rotors, tires, oil changes, batteries, starters, and alternators. They also offer vehicle undercoating prior to winter to help keep your vehicle protected. Currently, their hours are Monday through Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Thursday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them today to schedule your next appointment at 814-230-9061. Your safety is their goal.
Hi, this is Ryan Klein, the host of the new pop culture podcast, Me, Myself, and Rye. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and several other platforms. Special guests, breakaway shows, bonus episodes, cold beers, and a whole lot more. So what are you guys and gals waiting for? Subscribe now to the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast on Spotify or wherever it is that you get your shows and start listening today.
My High, Joe and Sketty's very own world of sports.
My Hive is presented by Blue Line Auto. For all your automotive needs, call Blue Line Auto at 814-230-9061 or stop in at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren. All right, quick 3-bagger because we're getting close to golfing time here.
Yep.
So we're going to do the review real quick. Last week, Sketty, 3-0 week. First one he's had in quite some time. Yeah, crushed it. Yeah. Took the Bengals -3.5. They had a nice comeback against the Bucks. Texans +14. They lost an OT to the Chiefs. And the Dolphins +7 covers against the Bills. Bills won with a walk-off field goal. His lock of the week, Seahawks +3.5, takes the L. What's the Niners record, like actual record?
10-4.
Okay, so I have it correct then. You're 7-7 on the lock of the decade. The Bang Bang Niner Gang lock of the decade. Is that what we're calling it?
I don't know. We haven't been, but I like that.
Andy threw in his 3 picks last week for the second time this season. 0-3 again. He is a scorching 0-6 lifetime with his picks on the show. So we're going to move on to our Week 16 picks, and let's get to them. Saints, Sketty's first pick. Saints +3 at the Browns.
Yeah, the Browns are fucking awful. Saints defense is good. I think getting points, this is a no-brainer. I think the Saints are going to win this outright, honestly. Deshaun Watson knocking the rust off, but he ain't there yet.
All right, my first one, I got the Lions -3 at the Panthers. I just like the way they're playing right now, finding ways to win. Panthers are not good.
Yeah, Panthers have turned it around a little bit. Second place in the division, bud.
Well, there's got to be an analogy for what second place in the NFC South is like, but I'll let it go. Just the Lions are cruising right now. They have a lot, still got more to play for, I think, than the Panthers do, despite how bad that. I mean, Sam Darnold, I just can't. Just not. They just put up an egg at home. Well, not an egg. They scored points, but played like shit against the Steelers. Couldn't find a way to win that game at home. I think this is another home loss for him, back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
Sketty, Bills, Bears +8.5.
Like we kind of talked about earlier, I just think Justin Fields is just squirrely enough to help the Bears cover. I mean, 8.5 is a lot of points. The Bills still don't look like that team that we saw the first 4 weeks of the season, although they're improved. I don't think there's any way the Bears win this game, but I think they can cover 8.5. I think, again, Fields is just squirrely enough that this bet can hit.
Yeah, I won't touch this game, and if I did, it would be siding with you with the 8.5. Still think the Bills win, but the spread's just too scary for me. I got the Pack +5.5 at the Dolphins. Dolphins are on what now? 3-game skid, I think. 3 or 4. Just don't look like they're collectively meshing very well right now. The Packers kind of have some stuff figured out, and I think defensively is where I like this matchup for the Packers is they can take Alexander, who can kind of remove Waddle or Hill, depending on what they do with them or where they line them up. But Alexander's good enough to run with either of those two wide receivers. And I think that if you take that away from Tua, get some good pressure up front, they can cover this game, if not win it. And the Dolphins sputtering continues, but we'll see. I like that game. That number I think seems about right to where they could, even if they lose, it's going to be in end of the game fashion. So, Skitties at the Seahawks +9.5 at the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's just a lot of points. The Chiefs don't, I know they're at home. The Chiefs don't look great. Seattle's kind of fighting for their playoff life here. I think Seattle defends the pass pretty well. They don't defend the run very well. So I just really do. I think the Seattle, while they don't win this game, I think they're going to cover 9.5.
All right, my last one. Chargers -3.5 at the Colts. I don't know how you rebound from that epic collapse last week. And if you watch the Chargers, they've been playing some pretty good football lately. They would have covered 3, at least in a push against the Titans, who are much better than the Colts. I just like I like the Chargers to win this by a couple touchdowns. Easy cover, I think, on this one. All right, Sketty's Bang Bang Niner Gang lock of the week.
Yeah, Commanders +7.5 at the 49ers. I just really think, the Commanders pissed off after they kind of got hosed at the end of that Giants game. Brock Purdy, at some point in time, Brock Purdy has to show us why he was the last pick of the draft. With that many points, I'm just going to roll Commanders here. Joe knows the reason I'm doing this for real, but we're not going to say it out loud. We're not going to say it out loud.
All right, yeah, that's the last one there. I do have a couple more things real quick. I didn't announce your 3-game win streak or your 3-game sweep last week took you to 24-21 on the year. I had what did I do? 2-1? I didn't even go over mine.
Yeah,
Lions, I had the Lions.
Think about it. Yeah.
I didn't even review mine. Yeah, last week I went 2-1, Lions +1.5. Got the win against the Jets. I had the Panthers -2.5. And they couldn't get it done at home against the Steelers. And then I had the Broncos -3, which was, I think they won by like 15 or something because the Cardinals are trash. One last thing before we go, though. So because Andy is epically 0-6, I said, listen, let's see how long you can keep this streak of just sucking go on. So he threw 3 games at me. So these are the bet the other way picks by Andy.
Okay.
Jags -1.5 at the Jets. So lean Jets. Texans +7 at Titans. This is probably the week the Titans turned it around and just demolish a division opponent.
Yep.
And
Andy.
I'm confident he did this one intentionally. Watch for the upset in Santa Clara this weekend because Andy's on the 49ers -7.5. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that kind of, if you're really looking at it as go the other way from what Andy says, it matches your lock of the week. So yeah. But I'm pretty sure he did that one on purpose. But all right, we're gonna wrap it up. That's this week's picks. We'll be back next week. Well, hopefully we're doing a Saturday morning bonus show, so we'll keep everybody posted on that. And that show is going to it's going to be different layout than normal. Bonus show is going to have a couple topics that Sketty and I sometimes talk about just on our own that we're like, that'd be fun to bring up to, with more people involved, hear their thoughts. And then we have the interview with Ray Russell that we got to play too, because I want everybody to hear his story. Either way, that one's getting pumped into a show. If not this bonus show, then it'll be in next week's show because we need to play that. It's like a 20-minute interview. It's previously recorded, but awesome story. Ray Russell, the 49-year-old nose tackle for North Dakota State College of Science. I had to remember that one, but all right. Thank the sponsors: Swing Juice, Busch Light, Napoli's Your Daily Local, JP Photography, Mean Sales and Service, Jones Pest Control, Me, Myself, and Rye Podcast, Blue Line Auto, and Complete Roofing Systems. Thank you all for making this possible. Listeners, appreciate you, the comments, engagement. We like that. So thanks for tuning in. And a reminder, you can listen to the rest of the show if you missed some of it. The audio will be uploaded shortly afternoon today. And you can hop on there and listen to the rest. So until next week, take care. Be safe.